everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and if you're new here, remember to subscribe and to give this video a thumb up. Switzerland is an expensive country. It's very expensive. Last year I was unemployed because I had to move to Norway for work, but because of the pandemic the borders were closed, so I had to stay here in Switzerland. But I was basically unemployed, and although I was receiving unemployment money here in Switzerland, I was still paying a little bit attention to what I was spending. I was trying to find a way to save money, to spend a little bit less, and there are some things that worked more than others. I found new ways of saving money or of spending less. That's why in this video I want to tell you 5 ways to save money or spend less in Switzerland. The first thing is probably the most obvious thing that everyone who's living in Switzerland or that is moving to Switzerland know, and is going grocery shopping or to restaurants in Germany, France or Italy, depending on the part of Switzerland that you're living in. For example, where I live here in Basel, we're very close to the German and the French border, so if you want to save money you should really go to Germany or to France. Germany is a little bit cheaper to do your grocery shopping or to go to restaurants. The countries outside of Switzerland are anyway cheaper than Switzerland. Like, there is no other country which is expensive as Switzerland in Europe. Every time that you purchase something abroad, when you re-enter Switzerland, you should keep your receipt and you should have it stamped at the border, so that the next time that you go to that shop you get the German VAT back. So you get basically money back. It's really like physical money that you get back, like you really get your money back, or you get like a discount on the new purchase. This is a big way to save money because grocery shopping is a lot cheaper than in Switzerland. Even restaurant, like you really can spend like a half of what you spend in Switzerland. So if you can, go grocery shopping in Germany, France or Italy. The second way to spend less when you do your grocery shopping is going towards the end of the day. Well, it depends of which part of the city you're in. For example, if you are in the city and you go to the supermarket like a couple of hours before the closing, you will find a lot of products which are discounted 50%, and that's because it's some kind of food that is expiring the same day or the next day, and they rather sell it cheaper, 50% off or 25% off, rather than throwing it away. Sometimes you really find quite a lot. There are a lot of people who actually search for these 50% discounted products, so you really need to go there when they start putting these 50% labels on the products, because there are really people just waiting the seconds they put the label on it to grab the thing. Because I mean, you can get really very good stuff for cheap. Last day I bought some burgers at Migros for 50% off, and oh my god, they were so freaking good. That was such high quality meat. These 50% discounted things are really like such a good idea, because sometimes I even try things that I normally wouldn't buy, but I just try them because they are 50% off, and I find discovering things that are so good. So yeah, definitely look for these 50% discounted products. Another way of spending less at the supermarket is really having these membership cards like Coop, Migros, because thanks to those you really get actually very good deals. With Coop, every time that you buy something you get points on your card, and at one point you can use your points to pay. I was last day at the supermarket and my grocery shopping was like 20 Swiss francs, but I ended up paying only 5 because I was able to deduct my point as money. So I paid, instead of 20 Swiss francs, I paid only 5. You still need to purchase a lot before you develop enough point to pay. I don't remember how many Swiss francs leads to 1 point, but it's actually like free money. You purchase these things anyway, and then with the point that you get by purchasing this thing you can pay other things. Like, it's genius. In other supermarkets like Migros, you get also points when you purchase things, and then you get in the mail like every month, I think, this kind of coupon where this one is actually 5 Swiss francs. So next time that I go to Migros, I can actually give this, I will pay 5 Swiss francs less. This is actually 5 Swiss francs to go and buy something in Migros. And I think every 500 points is 5 Swiss francs. So the more you buy in Migros, the more you get like these 5 Swiss francs coupons. I find this is so useful. Otherwise, when you buy something on the receipt, sometimes you get this coupon, like if you buy something and then you give this receipt, then your points will be multiplied 40 times. Or you also get this type of coupon. You get like more points buying certain kind of products, cereal bars, these are potatoes, tuna cans. When you buy these things and you give this coupon, they will give you more points on buying this purchase. So you will gather more points, and at the end you will get more of these 5 Swiss francs coupons. Another way of saving money in Switzerland is selling what you don't need or what you don't use. Compared to Italy, it's so easy in Switzerland to sell things that you don't really use. For example, last month I had some coffee cups that I basically never used or used once. I was able to sell them for 50 Swiss francs. Also, I sold my boxing gloves because I'm not doing boxing anymore, and they were like in perfect condition, almost new. So I also sold them for 15 Swiss francs, and it's stuff that you purchased. So you already spent money on those, and you can actually resell them and make a little bit of money out of it. Like, it's anyway money that you wouldn't have had because you already spend those money to buy those things. And I think it's so great that in Switzerland you are actually able to sell a lot of your stuff, because I think it's also so good. Instead of throwing them away or having them sit in a wardrobe or at the bottom of a drawer, you actually give new life to your things. It's a more sustainable way of also living, because you give to someone else to use the things that you don't use anymore instead of throwing them away. Of course, it's not a way like to make a ton of money. Some people tries to sell stuff for unbelievable prices. These websites like Facebook Marketplace where you can sell this stuff, you really don't have to aim at making money. It's just the things that you don't need anymore, you can give to someone else and earn something like from it. I normally put things 20 Swiss francs, 30 Swiss francs, not more, because no one would buy them and it's anyway secondhand stuff. I've made a video about it. I will leave the link down below. And the same way, if you want to save money, go and check these secondhand shops. Go and check these Facebook's group where you can buy secondhand stuff, because for example, the stuff that I sold almost all the time, it was in perfect condition, if not like almost new. The people that bought these things actually did a very good deal with me. They were basically new stuff that I used like very rarely or once or almost never. Switzerland is a country where there are a lot of expats that comes and goes, and like moving is expensive. Like, the more stuff you have, the more you have to pay. So there are a lot of people that decides to just leave everything behind and sell everything when they leave, so that they don't have to pay, like in their relocation, they don't have to pay this much. And so sometimes you find like really great deals. Like at the beginning when I moved to Switzerland and I didn't have like a lot of money, I bought so many things from there, and they were like all like very great things. The fifth advice on how to spend less in Switzerland is something that no one actually told me, but I think is actually great. For example, when I have my family over and we want to have lunch outside, but we don't want to spend a lot because like Swiss restaurants are expensive, like it's expensive to eat out in Switzerland, and you're not someone very pretentious for eating, go to Manor, Coop or Migros restaurant. They are like self-service restaurant, and I found them like good. The quality is not bad. Like, it's not a top fancy restaurant, it's still a self-service restaurant. But for example, Manor pizza, it's so good. To Fawen, I used to go with my colleagues when I was working in the city. Like, if we wanted to go out together for lunch, it's cheaper than any other restaurant, and you can find sometimes a lot of choice, and the quality is actually good. It's not bad quality. It's nothing fancy, as I said. I also think that Clarahus and Markthalle are two very good alternatives to the Manor Coop Migros restaurant, because there is a lot of choice. You do find a bit cheaper food, like you have smaller plates so you pay less. Tibbits, it's also good if you don't eat a lot. At Tibbits you pay on weight, so if you are very hungry and you want like a full plate, you are going to spend a lot because it's not cheap. But if you want like just something small, Tibbits is actually a good place because you can put like a small portion on your plate, and since like they will weight your plate, you can end up spending a reasonable amount of money for a smaller plate. So these are my 5 suggestions on how to spend less in Switzerland, save a little bit of money. Of course, if you have other suggestions for the people that are watching this video, leave a comment in the comment box below. The goal of my videos is to help other people that are coming to Switzerland or that are pondering the idea of coming to Switzerland. These are all things really that I found out in my 8 years in Switzerland. So if you like this video, give it a thumb up, and as always, remember to subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video. Bye!